So yeah, after that great program that Tony did for us at the pothole, I knew there was going to be a hike, but I thought we were just going to be trekking through the woods and I'd be yakking away at my daughter the whole time. But no, we did a small hike, maybe 2 miles in total out and back between the Archbald Pothole State Park and the Ed Staybuck State Park. And yeah, they're unofficial trails, but there are trails that go between the two parks. And then when we got out there, I thought Tony was knowledgeable about the pothole, but he was really in his element on this nature hike. He knew what every sound was, he knew what every twig was, he knew everything that was happening out around us, and he really enjoyed sharing it all with us. So I'm inviting you to come on this hike with us, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. By the way, I'm Val, and you're watching videos about life.
But yeah, if you see anything, want to know anything about it, you have questions about, let me know. We'll just kind of take a mosey walk up here. We'll kind of come in today at Stayback Park, mosey around there, and then we'll come on back this way. So yeah, so has anyone been to Lackawanna State Park before?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I come here and compare it to Lackawanna State Park, it's a drastic change in when I look at the forest itself.
Yeah.
The tree composition is very much different. The terrain, the landscape is very much different. So here, this forest is dominated by oaks, so chestnut oak, white oak, red oak. At Lackawanna State Park, 20 minutes away, that is not the case. We're dominated by sugar maple, black birch, and hemlocks, and black cherry. So it just kind of shows how much influence the geology has on the type of forest that you're living in and we're exploring.
I see these webs almost like, I see these in the woods.
Yeah, it's a great place to see them. We often find these on cherries. This is a cherry that's just starting to leaf out now. This shape we can define as a tent. So this is one of two tent caterpillars that we have. So the spongy moth won't make these nest-like structures. This is probably the eastern or forest tent caterpillar. There's two species, forest or tent. Forest or eastern. The caterpillars kind of hang out in these structures. They make them out of silk with glands in their mouths. And then they'll disperse to feed and then come back and spend the night or the day in the nest. So you can actually see.
Oh, so they go in and out?
Yeah, they'll go in and out.
I didn't know that.
And they'll kind of come out, eat
like...
the leaves, go back in. This right here is a huge source of bird food. So even though they can be a little bit unsightly, they will eat some of the leaves. All those birds that rely on insects, especially when they're feeding their young, this is a huge source of food for them. So again, we have to balance aesthetics with the fact that animals that we do have a lot of passion for, like birds, at least I do, this is how they survive. And for the tree itself, it's so early in the growing season that the tree will just pop out new leaves. It doesn't bother the tree. In fact, this shows those connections between the tree and this caterpillar, and then the birds. The birds have food, the birds are helping reduce the defoliation from the caterpillars on the plants, and then obviously eat the caterpillars themselves or feed them on to their offspring.
Yeah.
Yeah, goldenrod. So this is old goldenrod. These are all the coming out now. So these are the seeds of goldenrod. Goldenrod blooms late in the summer, early fall, kind of gives our fields a nice yellow hue. And so many people blame goldenrod for their allergies. And so many times I've had to tell people, You're blaming the wrong plant. Look at the ragweed, look at the grasses that might be giving off pollen. Goldenrod is not bothering your eyes, your nose, whatever is bothering you. For some plants, especially this time of year, like oaks and pines, grasses, when they release pollen, the pollen is light, it's very small. They're using the wind to disperse it with using copious amounts of it so that luck is on their side. So one of those pollen grains or spores will land on the flower of the female flower somewhere in a different plant to fertilize it and germinate and make a new fruit and seed. Other plants use insects or birds or bats even, or even mammals to spread that pollen around, and that's what goldenrod does. So they're bigger, they're heavier, they're stickier, they're not floating in the air like grass or pine or oak. And I can attest to the aggravation of those pollens in the spring. My allergies will be very, very noticeable. In fact, today was day one of my Allegra. So, yippee.
That would be the goldenrod he was talking about.
Twigs will pop open, we'll have leaves come out of them, or flowers, or more twig as it elongates. This tree here is big-tooth aspen, which is in the willow family. And being in the willow family, if I were to chew on this twig, it might alleviate my headache, but it also tastes very bitter. If you ever had to chew an aspirin, that's what you're tasting here. So
Can I have a piece?
if anyone wants to, you're more than welcome to. Or if you want to play a trick on a friend, you can tell them, hey, try this out, and then they're spitting out that taste. Here's a live one. Yeah, you want a fresh one? Yeah, go ahead and chew on it.
I mean, take a big bite. Like, eat it?
Just chew on it. Don't swallow.
Oh, okay.
Where's another
Oh, yeah. That's, not pleasant.
Yeah.
one? Another one.
So yeah, indigenous people knew about this along with willows, that which is basically some natural form of salicylic acid, is within the bark of this tree. So they knew it alleviates headaches and pain, and they would use it in poultices as well. So there's a little tree there. Bring it up. There were two. Number 2 one. Oh, over there. We got a pair of turkey vultures here. And two things singing around us. There's a bluebird right up there in that tree behind me. There it goes. There's a bluebird. Give him a warble. And then there's an American robin over here singing their happy song. So birds are starting to breed already. They're making nests. Some birds start breeding quite early in the year. Great horned owls, by January, they have a nest with eggs.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Rock pigeons breed year round. So when you ever see a pigeon, they're probably breeding. And there's a field sparrow singing too. Sounds like someone dropped a ping pong ball on a tabletop. I'll stop. So right up here, this is the back parking lot of Estee Regional Park. Early 2000s, this was all barred land from strip mining operations. DEP, the Bureau of Mine Reclamation, came in, did a big project in here to reclaim it, and that's how Estee Regional Park came to be. This is pretty neat habitat for a variety of birds that rely on grasslands, such as meadowlarks and grasshopper sparrows. These aren't birds that you're not going to find in a forest, you're not going to find in a developed area. They rely on expansive, open, grassy habitats. So I'm always happy to see or hear them singing in here in the summertime. I just happened to pull this off a tree that looks like it's fallen. Back here, maybe you've seen something like this before. Any idea what this might be? Okay, chance. So these are the fruits which contain the seeds of sycamore. This is American sycamore here. And sycamore is often found in riparian areas, so along riverbanks and floodplains. This one maybe came in just through the restoration work. But these seeds will float. So for a seed, they want to travel. They want to get away from that parent tree so that they're not growing in its shadow, literally, because they need sunlight. So these happen to float downstream, whereas some might be carried by the wind. Think of the helicopters from maples, right? Samaras. Some are sticky or thorny, so they cling onto the hair of animals or our shoelaces, right, and get travel that way. So yeah, so plants have a variety of different ways that they disperse their seeds so that they can spread out and not be growing in the shadow of the parent tree. Oh, check it out, anyone?
Thank you.
Yeah. You're gonna find them. This is autumn olive. This one's not fully leafed out. These leaves will get bigger. They'll have flowers come May or so. In habitats that are dominated by autumn olive, the smell is quite strong. It's given me headaches before. It's not bad or anything, but it's just pretty strong. And then they'll produce these red berries that birds will eat and then disperse the seeds as they go to the bathroom. So this is another invasive. One of the ways this was introduced into North America from Asia is for game land habitats, including here in Pennsylvania, where if we take our game lands that might be reclaimed mining operations and we plant this because it grows fast, it grows kind of bushy, so it's good cover for our game animals, but in fact it's terrible, like rabbits and pheasants.
I thought you meant animals that play real.
Yeah, right? That'll be more exciting. So, but this just proves to be a natural resource issue now, along with multiflora rose right there. I'm sure I could find a bunch of other stuff in here as well. Honeysuckle, the different privets. Japanese knotweed is a big one. You know, it's easy for things to hitchhike, so a symptom of our world becomes smaller in terms of getting from point A to point B easier is a seed or a plant fragment or an insect can easily get from food. Wanted to make sure. Anyone ever had teaberry gum or ice cream or?
What is it? Teaberry.
Oh
yeah.
This is teaberry down here.
Oh.
And none are fruiting yet, so you're not going to get the taste of berry. But if you crush the leaf, you might get a whiff of the aroma to it. This is a tiny little shrub. So this is a woody plant, but it's really short. This is teaberry, and you'll find them bloom soon. Little white flowers, and then they have those nice red berries beneath their leaves. So if you crush a leaf, you might pick up the aroma. If you don't, it's just because we're smelling leaves. It's only so much a leaf will give you. Yeah, we have quite a bit of teaberry in here. So if you come back later in the summer, you'll find some of those. Be careful. You'll find some. Oh yeah, you can eat them. Got a little bit.
There's no berries, though.
No berries. No. So we have a couple things down here. This green leafy material is moss, and then this grayish tissue. Does anyone know?
Lichen.
Lichen. So
This is a cute little red, little soldier looking thing.
yeah, British soldiers, right? It's a kind of lichen. So lichens are a really interesting organism. You have fungus that learned how to farm. So you have fungus, which is making this body that we see, and then within their tissue they have algae embedded within, as well as other types of fungus, sometimes yeast, sometimes cyanobacteria. It's kind of this farm agriculture they have, and the algae or the cyanobacteria will produce oxygen they produce sugars that then the fungus can consume, while giving the algae or the cyanobacteria kind of a sheltered, structured habitat to live in. So really neat phenomenon. And if you go back to the 50s and 60s into urban areas where there's a high levels of air pollution, you would have seen this decline of lichen within those urban centers. As air pollution has eased from different regulations since the 80s, 90s, 2000s, we've seen lichen re-inhabit urban areas. So they can be indicative of clean air. So where we see lichen, that's a good thing. They don't bother the tree at all. They're simply just growing on top of the bark. They're not going into the wood or anything like that, like a fungus.
Is that what we're seeing, like on all those trees there, like, or is that something else?
Yeah, I see a lot of lichen in here. Yep.
Because we have them on our trees, and I thought it was bad.
Yeah, no, they're good. And some lichens prefer stone. And one thing I always like to mention about invasive plants is it's a two-way street. If you go to other parts of the world, you're going to find things familiar to you from here. If you go to Europe, you might find milkweed, which we love. Yeah. It's invasive there. If you go to Arizona, you'll find bullfrogs, which I enjoy here, but they're invasive out there, as well as other parts of the world, including Europe.
Rabbits in Australia.
Rabbits in Australia, yep. So it's a two-way street. We're not alone in dealing with invasive species. So, I'll stick around for any more questions, but I want to thank you all for joining me this evening. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Had
Thank you,
fun.
Tony.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And hopefully I get to see you all again soon.
Thank you.
So yeah, wow. Tony really knows what he's talking about when he's out in nature. I learned quite a bit on this hike. I'll probably forget most of it. For instance, I'll never understand one caterpillar tent versus another. Obviously, he knew what they all were, but there are other things I will learn and I'll take away from this hike. Lichen on the trees. I always thought that was some kind of blemish, and it turns out that the lichen is actually a healthy sign in the woods. Go figure. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed this little hike that we took. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Subscribe, see more videos like this and about all kinds of different things. But until next time, bye-bye.